Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayana Namaskritya Narayana together.
Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Ashtapadeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamam Shloke Bhakti Bhagavati Nashiki. It's very neat to conquest. One shall perfect the ways to bring down the God and Narayana. Unto Narayana Rishi, the supremest human being, and the best Saraswati, the best learning, and Shri Vyasdeva.
Why we're doing two
all that is troublesome to the heart is most completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, whose praise the transcendental songs establishes the venerable God.
All right. Good morning, guys. Tree Mad Back to Town class. So one of the voters here, they were making fun of the way I talk. They were, are you doing Tree Mad Back to Town class? So, we are on new chapter, new subject, 18. First starting 10. He's 10 to 17. We're going to read the book on 16. This is readers.
Those who are desirous of achieving complete perfection in life must submissively hear all topics that are connected with the constant characteristics and qualities of the personality of God, who acts wonderfully.
The good sages said, O brave Suta Goswami, may you live many years and have eternal fame, for you are speaking very nicely about the activities of Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. This is just like nectar for mortal beings like us.
We have just begun the performance of this fruitive activity, sacrificial fire, without certainty of its result due to the many imperfection in our action. Our bodies have become black from the smoke, but we are factually pleased by the nectar of the lotus feet of the personality of God, golden, which you are distributing.
The value of a moment's association with the devotee of the Lord cannot even be compared to the attainment of heavenly planets or liberation from matter. And what to speak of worldly benedictions in the form of material prosperity, which are for those who are meant for death.
The personality of Godhead, the Lord Sri Krishna, Govinda, is the exclusive shelter for all the great living beings, and his transcendental attributes cannot even be measured by such masters of mystic power as Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. Anyone who is expert in relishing nectar, rasa, ever be fully satisfied by hearing topics about him?
Suta Goswami, please describe those topics of the Lord by which Maharaj Parikshit, whose intelligence was fixed on liberation, attained the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of brood of the birds. His topics were vibrated by the son of Vyas, Sri Sukadeva.
Thus, please narrate to us the narrations of the unlimited, for they are purifying and supreme. They were spoken to Maharaj Parikshit, and they are very dear to the pure devotees being full of bhakti yoga.
Sabya Maha Bhagavat Shri Ina Parva Gahan Ab Aribuddhi Jinam Vishakti Sauti Vijay Kajindra Vijay Haram Unam. Some breathers.
Savai Maha Bhagavata Parikshit. Yena Pavadakyam Adabra Bhuri. Yanina Vaya Shakti Shakti Ejigan Kagindra Raja Paramanam.
Why, certainly, Mahabharata responsibility for the being, by which Mahabharata counts by the name of liberation, Adavana is reading intelligence, Yamena by knowledge, Vaya Shakti Sanavayasa, Shakti by greater pride, the words, the flag, souls of the feet.
Translation. As the libraries Casey Buck, not the street. Save the whole king. Oh,
Sutta Swami, please describe those topics of the Lord by which Maharaj Parikshit, whose intelligence was fixed on liberation, attained those who come to the Lord, who is the shelter of the kingdom of courts. Those topics are vibrated by the son of Vyasa, Shri Sukadeva.
There is some controversy amongst the students on the path of liberation. Such transcendental students are known as the personalists and devotees of the Lord. The devotee of the Lord worships the transcendental form of the Lord, whereas the impersonalist meditates upon the glaring effulgence or the bodily rays of the Lord, known as the Brahmajyoti. Here in this verse it is said that Maharaj Parikshit attained the lotus feet of the Lord by instructions and knowledge delivered by the son of Vyasadeva, Srila Shukadeva Goswami. Shukadeva Goswami was also an impersonalist in the beginning, as he himself has admitted in Bhagavatam 2:1-9. But later, he was attracted by the transcendental pastimes of the Lord and thus became a devotee. Such devotees with perfect knowledge are called Mahabhagavatas, or first-class devotees. There are three classes of devotees, namely the Prakrita, Madhyam, and Mahabhagavata. The Prakrita, the third-class devotees, are temple worshippers without specific knowledge of the Lord, and the Lord's devotees. The Madhyam, or the second-class devotee, known knows well the Lord's devotees, the neophytes, and the non-devotees also. But the Mahabhagavatas, or the first class devotees, sees everything in relation with the Lord, and the Lord present in everyone's relation. The Mahabhagavata, therefore, does not make any distinction, particularly between a devotee and a non-devotee. Maharaj Parikshit was such a Mahabhagavata devotee because he was initiated by a Mahabhagavata devotee, Shukadeva Goswami. He was equally kind, even to the personality of Kali, and what to speak of others.
Pause. What is a devotee? In one sentence, everybody. Very important. What's a devotee? It says here, Sukadeva was because he was kind to others.
The servant of the servant.
What's a devotee? You guys are devotees. Devotees care. Devotees care. Oops. Oops. I got a new one hanging upstairs too, just in case. I'll switch mine out.
Prabhupada said, devotee means the mind, meaning that you can distinguish devotee from non-devotee.
There's a verse in the Bhagavad Gita, I think it's 632. Here is a perfect yogi who in comparison to his own son shows the true quality of our beings, like their happiness and distress.
Devotee is one who accepts and worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Krishna describes the Uddhava in 11th canto of Bhagavatam. He says, my devotee is not who is my devotee. My devotee is the devotee of my devotee.
Service or surrender. Anybody else? I could try to hear from everybody.
You're just asking for the general definition of devotee because this purport is also describing 3 different levels of.
I want to hear your general definition in one sentence. You read what it says.
Everyone deep down is a devotee.
On the inside.
Someone who's humble, thinking about others' well-being, but and less self-absorbed.
Noticing the asana of yoga, and the corresponding arbitrary, Sattva, in other words, Sudra, Vaishya, an eternal servant of the servant of the lover of the God.
Even though I've always seen both policies seen about something that doesn't resonate seen us.
Kulya Ram devotees asked Lord Chaitanya, who is a devotee, and said, devotee, and we get different answers. So first, we are to get the answer, devotee is a person who even once utters a holy name. Second, we get one who utters holy name all the time. And the third here is the definition of devotee. Devotee is one, but just by seeing others become devotees. It's not chanting.
Hear a lot of action, things that come from the heart, service, caring for others. These are all well, actions are external. What's in the heart? Anybody else? Any more of the guys?
You can tell if somebody is really Krishna by being perfect. It's perfectly. Everybody is less caught up in their own story, more in Krishna's story.
To everyone, and everyone is good. Devotee is respectful of others' feelings and beliefs. Jackson talked about being selfless and he's talking about being respectful. So wonderful behaviors.
You're a devotee.
We're all devotees. So aspiring, yeah. So it's interesting. None of those things have anything to do with the way anybody dresses. You know, anything to do with externals. Where you put your T-lock on. And, all the kirtan you can learn, or knowledge you can learn, or all your rounds and show up to everything and be fixed up. But it's about the way that you treat people. It's about what's in your heart. It's about the way, like Gopal said, one of my main points is going to be how you work with aspiring devotees. I think that's the most important thing. So I wanted to do a little cross comparison with what I do know. I feel like is skateboarding culture. When I was growing up, I got a skateboard from one of the brahmacharis at Tallahassee Temple, and I fell in love with it immediately. It got me out of organized sports because it was very individualized and self-expressive and artistic. And we got a couple of skaters here too. Some other guys that came and got to see some skateboard culture at its peak. You guys see those guys, they're very creative. And so I felt like it was a good outlet for, a physical outlet for me too, and something positive I could obsess on. And I was, in love with it. I fell in love with it. So I started to do whatever I could to get a hold of the magazines, like ride my skateboard 2 miles to go to the library because they had them there. They were donated by the local skate shop. I used to just sit there and just geek out over them, take them home and put them on the wall, draw all the cartoons that are in them and stuff, try to learn on the skateboards and everything. And I was completely, captivated by it and trying to learn every night outside of the temple. I was always skating outside of my mom's house on the sidewalk in the cemetery. We're next to the cemetery. So I was obsessed, And then that was right before middle school. And then when I got to middle school and I seen the skateboard crew there, it was really hard to fit in with them. Because I didn't have on the right shoes. I didn't have a pro skateboard yet. I guess I hadn't been around them. I didn't know which tricks they thought were cool. I'd seen what movies, that they thought were relevant or cool. You know what I'm talking about because you're a surfer, And so there's part of it that I had the strong desire to like be a part of that culture because I had a love for it in my heart, but I wasn't like really supported or uplifted by the peers. If anything, back then it's changed a lot though. The culture's changed a lot. You guys probably seen that. It used to be really clicky. It was one of the most like begrudgingly, inner circle, closed off types of culture that's ever been around. Probably surfing too. I call it that locals and stuff like that. But now I was thinking about somebody who changed skateboarding culture as we know it today because he had influence and he influenced it positively and has made a change in millions of people's lives around the world and encouraged people to skate, and that's Tony Hawk. Is everybody familiar with Tony Hawk? Raise your hand if you're familiar with him. Okay, just pull up his Wikipedia real quick. I'm gonna show you guys something. Just pull up his Wikipedia and just the really quick part of it. So Tony Hawk is like one of the first sponsored skateboarders. He went pro when he was 14 years old. There's a little picture of him. Go back up. There's a picture of when he was real young. The little kid, that's him when he went pro at that age back then. And then that's him now, a little bit older. So see if you can see his overview real quick. But anyway, basically he did three major things that changed skateboarding culture completely. His revolutionized the trick base because he broke through physical boundaries and barriers that had never been done before. And then based off of him was a video game that started the culture. Tony Hawk Pro Skater in 1999 when everybody got that is the holy grail. And basically more people had access to skateboarding like pros and videos and it also spawned skateboarding culture. But one thing that I like about him so much, pull up that part now, is that he cares about people. He cares about the skateboarding community, and he's used his platform to help others. He created this skate park project that's given $13 million to funding skate parks in every single state in the U.S. He's built 661 skate parks. A skate park to a skateboarder is like a temple, It's a Krishna house. Exactly. 661. And yeah, go. Can you scroll down, Nate? I guess this is a different. That's our mission. Keep scrolling. Okay, then keep going. If you need a skate park, you can call him. There he is, cutting ribbons. Keep going down. Keep going down. Right there. Groundbreaking study redefines skateboarding culture. Click on that. Skateboarding is a culture. Guess what? We're in a culture too. Vaishnava culture. Mahaprabhu's cult is what it's called. Another thing I want to let y'all know, there's nothing wrong with being part of a culture. If somebody tries to devalue what we're in by calling it a cult, say, yeah, well, so is football. So is the volleyball team. So is your fraternity. So is your corporate organization you work for, because you guys have a culture and you are led and influenced by somebody, and that's what you're going to follow in order to fit in there. But so there you go. There's a bunch of little future cult leaders right there. Scroll down. It says it right there. That's a cool t-shirt. That's a cult leader. It says it right there. So but yeah, that's what he did. He funded a research project to try to see what little skateboarder kids need in order to be cared for, and about because they're in multicultural, international type of setting, and how they all get along and the things that they need. That's using your influence and your platform and your money for something positive, and helping the youth, the next generation, to be successful in their endeavors for what they love and what they, want to try to do. So anyway, this was, somebody I thought of that I felt like since back when I first started skating to now, things have changed so much because of his positive impact. And millions and millions of kids now, they have access to skate parks and skateboards. Every time I see a video he's putting out, he's like leaving skateboards somewhere for kids to come find and putting on Instagram. It's like, hey, if you guys want a skateboard, it's at this hidden spot. Go find it. He's just giving and giving and caring, So then I was also thinking about Shruti. We were glorifying him and what he's done for Krishna House with the Krishna Cares project. How wonderful is that? With his position here as a president, he's been able to make a whole project to where, we're giving meals to the needy. That is an example of, I feel like a real devotee. And he cares for everybody. We sat up here 2 days in a row and talked about how much he cares about everybody. And everybody's felt it. So anyway, this is what I want to try to express is that one of my sayings that I try to always keep in mind and live by is that it's not what's on you, it's what's in you. It's not if you have perfect T-lock or know how to put your dhoti on correctly or you got the nicest kurta from Davrin. All those things are really nice because you're presenting yourself, respectfully as a gentleman. That stuff, when it comes down to it, what's in your heart? How do you treat other people? How do you treat a new person when they come here? For all those 12 people that just came to the hula hoop and yoga class, how are we going to present ourselves and treat them when they come here on Friday or Monday program? Are we going to talk to them? Or are we going to do like what's happened, back in the day? I remember, I don't think I ever shared this with anybody. Back in the day, I was about 24, so it was like 12 years ago or so. Me and some of my buddies, we were coming up to Alachua and Christian House now and then and visiting and coming to programs. And we went to Alachua, so we had kind of seen who the kids were here at the Christian House. And then that was one weekend, and then like the next weekend, we went to the Alachua Temple. I brought a brand new guy with me who had never been to the Hare Krishna Temple before, and it was me and then my devotee buddy. Dude, they picked on our clothes outside of the temple. I will never forget. He said to me, "Oh, I like your outfit. It'd be better though, but you have an Adidas logo on your pants." And then they talking about his shirt or his flip flops or whatever he's wearing. That was our first impression with the Christian House kids from back then. And that guy who I brought did not want to come back. But actually, he did. He had this desire in his heart because I remember after that day, he was like, besides those kids, I really like this here. I like the way they're meditating. And I have this desire. I feel like I want to cook for these people. So Krishna had even put in a desire in his heart. That's the way we were welcomed. That's a small, it's a small example, but I never forgot that. I remember exactly what he said to me, and I was, it hurt my feelings, and especially that it impacted somebody brand new. We took, a lot of effort into bringing to trying to, bring him into the community so we could see like what a wonderful place it is. So I know we don't do that here. We don't treat people like that here. And I hope that yeah, go ahead, Bree.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying 100% because I almost got turned away because it happens a lot. I've noticed talking down on other paths or talking down on other people because they feel differently or think differently. Like everybody has their own, culture they grew up with, and so if we put down other people's paths, we actually make ourselves look like we aren't confident that we're on the right path because this path's all about devotion, about love.
That's what Mahaprabhu brought. That was the culture that he brought. One of the things in his culture historically that you can find, no dress code. It was Harinam, say Kirtan on the street, jump in, start chanting the holy names because this is your ticket home. He didn't care what you believed in or what you were doing, if you were drinking with prostitutes, whatever. Get on the boat. But then once you're on the boat for a little bit, you start getting responsibilities. And even like what you're saying, you have a responsibility with understanding and sharing the philosophy, presenting it as well, as a good representative. But I agree, part of that's understanding and embracing other people's cultures and paths. So, does anybody, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is a really excellent point about like just leaving people we interact with a good impression. Because I'm thinking about that now, like, I work and if anyone like even mentions anything like the slightest like, oh, like, are you Hindu? Like, I just say like, I'm Hare Krishna, and so it goes to show like even beyond like this like at Krishna house, like when we're just in the material world, just to be a good person, like not a jerk, like to be like an ambassador and like a good person. So then later on when they find out, like I was telling my boss about like Hare Krishna and stuff like that, and she really respects me like as a person because of like my work ethic and like just being honest with her. And so we like the ability we have to impact is actually very big, and it's beyond the campus. It's like in the whole world.
So that actually brings me. I wanted to open up to the question of how can we encourage and support those who are just starting out on their journey.
Yeah, actually, I want to share a story just because it taught me a really important lesson. My guru has told me many, many, many times to just be friends with people. And I've had so many experiences where like a new girl will come to the temple and he'll just tell me, you all should become best friends. You all should become best friends. Just take care of her, take care of her. And I've seen that we have in the example of Chaitanya Charitamrita, specifically with Lord Chaitanya and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he listened to him speak Vedanta Sutra for like 10 days, 7 days, 7 days, just like humbly listening. And then after 7 days, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was like, so what do you think? And that's of course when he was kindly like, well, the Vedanta Sutra is as clear as the sun, but your commentary is like a dark cloud covering it. And so then he's like, all right, well, you tell me what you think. And we shouldn't say that to people, but that's Lord Chaitanya. But the point was that he first listened to him and respected him, even though he was a Mayavadi. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's heart was open, so he could hear from Lord Chaitanya because that relationship was there. And I've seen that happen specifically with the Jivamukti Yoga Studio as well, and the Govardhan Eco Village. They've built over years and years and years such a relationship with that yoga studio. The founder is a devotee, and now it's like they do their yoga teacher trainings there. And I had a friend who actually had a bad experience with someone on book distribution, like in the 70s, where she wasn't treated nicely. And so she hated Hare Krishnas for such a long time. And then when she went to the Govardhan Eco Village, she lost her bag, and the monks there gave her such amazing hospitality, trying to help her find her bag. And then I also became a Hare Krishna, that now she like totally loves the Hare Krishnas. And the last quick thing is, because it's a very big lesson for me. Many years ago, I went to Brazil, and I was doing this thing in this health treatment in Brazil, and I brought a whole suitcase of the journey homes with me, and I would just make friends with people for like, a few weeks, even a month, and then I would just give them that book as like a gift after the relationship was developed. And there was one specific lady. She was actually the New York Times fashion editor, and she had been offered to be like the CEO of Chanel, and she was a total Maya body. And I was kind of thinking, and I was friends with her, I was spending time with her and sharing, and I was thinking, yeah, I don't know if I should give her a book. Like, I don't know. But then something in my heart the last day was like, you should give her a book, right? So at lunch, I was like, I have a gift for you. And I was telling her, and she was so happy. And then somehow or other, she ended up having lunch with Radha Swami and her famous friend in London. And she was like, I got your book. And he was like, did you read the book? And she was like, yeah, I read the book. And he was like, how did you get the book? And she was like, oh, this girl, Champa Kalata in Brazil, gave me this book. And I honestly never would have ever read this book, but she was just such a nice girl. And she was such amazing friend with me, and all of these things. And so because I trusted her, I read the book. And my Guru Maharaj came to me next time I saw him. I won't tell the whole story, but it was the whole thing. And he was basically like telling me how happy he was, and proud he was of that. And I'm saying that because it was such a lesson to me of the power of relationships and friendships, and kindness, and not judging someone but accepting someone, and then sharing with them from a place of love.
So I'm sidelining things a little bit because I'm not going to directly answer the question. But reframing right? But something that I think is very important is that we forget that the older devotees, the veterans, the seniors, the whatever you want to call them, we're suddenly treated right. We're all still human beings. And oftentimes the first example we can be hyper-focused on doing everything right with the people. We should do it. But there should also be some time and energy for things to be older ones, especially the ones who might not need it. Because, we're all human beings, we all have our own abilities and things. And we're speaking about this idea of a cult. And when we become devotees, a lot of people can treat us a little unfairly, nastily. We're swimming upstream and we've done something. So sometimes, luckily not all the time, but sometimes all of it is better. So we have to support even the ones we think might not need it. But we're just not noticing it.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Devotee. Shruti is a good example of somebody who's taking care of our senior members. Krishna Kripa glorified him for that. That every time he's come here, he's felt like very welcome. He's always at a place, open door policy. And, we always try to engage with him when he's here. So yeah, that's so important. And sometimes all we have is each other. Is somebody yeah, go ahead.
I think this
I think that this kind of fits in with both Champak and Gopi's sentiment, but there is this tenet from How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, which Kalakanta Prabhu recommends everybody reads, but it's be more interested than interesting. And so it's this principle of, we often feel like the way to attract people in is to have like a really amusing story and to be able to talk about the literatures, to this high level. But a lot of that is actually ego. And so taking that moment, both with people who are new, but also with people who have been here a long time, to just be interested and to open up your listening. And in doing so, I feel like it benefits everybody, because when you are interested in somebody, people love to talk about themselves, and that's when they feel that sense of belonging. That's when they feel that sense of home. Like, I know that just in listening and saying nothing, so many people have said the words like, "Oh my God, I've never told anybody that before," or like, "Oh my God, like I just feel like no one's ever listened to me that way before." And those kinds of things are the things that, whether you're someone is more advanced than you or less advanced than you, like giving that gift is what deepens the capacity for devotion, because it's like the most open a heart can become.
My other favorite sayings that I try to live by. I'm giving you my two favorite phrases to live by. It's not what's on you, it's what's in you. And the other one is, nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. And I learned that here. Both of them I got from here. But I remember Ed Beta actually taught me that principle that you're talking about. He said, be excited about Krishna once, when I was having to do the management, and I said it's hard for me to connect. Like maybe sometimes some like adults come by, parents of the students, like he said, just be excited about what they're telling you. And you know what happens when you do that, when you do what Presence was talking about? It becomes genuine, and you start actually becoming like more interested in their story than in your story. Like that was one of Jackson's examples. Because people are so amazing and so interesting, yeah, especially when they start revealing very personal things. Like the other day, Anthony had connected with one of the students, and he let us know that he was world-class swimming champion. And he was just like, I just want to usually tell people that. It was such a nice connection, because he gave him some time.
One of the story of a person who came to Helsinki Temple some years back, and he talked to us and said, "I'm not feeling I can practice that because I love eating meat, and for me eating meat every day is my regulatory principle. And you guys are vegetarians, how can you practice it? I love everything you do, but eating is like big thing for me. What should I do?" And we listened to him, and then we told him, like, you keep coming, you don't have to be vegetarian, you just keep coming here, and how about if you try once a month to try to vegetarian? But when you come here on Sundays, you be that one time, and then if you like it, maybe you can try once a week after that, and maybe weekend, and maybe try 1 week in a month, or a few days in a week. And we took him 1 year, coming from just 1 day, 2 days a month, to 2 days a week, to 1 week, 2 weeks, and then finally he was able to fill it up completely and become tangible.
It's the I have a question about we're supposed to be interested, but at the same time we're not supposed to look their associate. If someone's like super materialistic, we're not supposed to take. We have to be careful not to like take on certain mentalities. And so, how do we listen with a certain level of the right guards.
Actually, was talking in this community about this here. We had a long discussion. You know, we all have a battery, and we all have so much that we can invest in so many different people. There's different types of association. You know, there's those that we learn from, there's those that we're peers with, and there's those that, you know, we're trying to teach something to. And we can kind of handle so many of all those caseloads. But so as far as like, yeah, helping people and connecting with others, it's just a matter of how much like time are you able to invest and give into it. I feel like you know, how many one of those can you really take on, and it's important to be cordial with everybody, friendly, gentleman. But yeah, as far as getting invested further into that relationship, you know, that's going to be something you're going to have to gauge for yourself, especially based on like how many other things, you know, you have going on. As far as like with new people that come in, that's what we're talking about. Programs, very important. You can tell them to come along with us, you know, to whatever Saturday events we're doing, and bring them in, throw them in the middle. You know, and it's not all on you. It's a group effort. You know, try to support people who are wanting to see what Dr. is about. So, is that okay?
Yeah, that's great. But I do have a follow up. Like, I have friends who I was friends with before, like moving into and stuff, like listening out, but like not to move Christian house. And so I ended up being but was you know, well, it's hard. Yeah, I feel like I'm too neophyte to really extend myself to.
I experienced the same thing. I have a lot of friends from the past, and again, it's just investing some time into it. You only have so much time, and you have so much social battery, and you have so many other projects that you're working on, Christian house projects, school projects, and other connections that are really important that are helping you in your service and you to grow in your practice and your devotion. So if those relationships, if they're not making an impact, then again, you can stay maybe connected with them, you know, cordially. But as far as investing time into it and energy into it, you only have so much of that. So yeah, it's something you're always gonna have to discern. I have my godbrother in Tallahassee, and I love him, and I want to see him every time I go there. It's really heavy. It's really heavy. You know, he's always going through a lot, and I always try to lift him up and bring something positive, you know, to him too. And but it's hard. So sometimes, yeah, loving people from a distance, you know, it's okay. It's where we can still care for people. We can still love people without investing an extensive amount of time and energy into that. Devotee?
No.
I was just thinking, and thank you very much for very engaging this talk here in class for the benefit of humanity. There's us, and then there's them, but it should be just us. You know, like not to other, but to belong. And then I was thinking about what Nate was asking. It's so much easier to engage without even, well, and simultaneously charge our battery while we're engaged. So it doesn't get depleted when we, I think there's a verse where
says that the one who sees me everywhere and everything in me, in relation to it. For him, I'm never lost, neither he is lost to me. That's in Gita. So as we try to see everything in connection to Krishna, it'll be easier to engage in that. And question to you in that regard is, what about the king of birds? The birds. You talk about hawk, Tony Hawk.
Oh, Tony Hawk!
Yeah, because he's the Birdman.
His nickname is Birdman. What a good catch, Ruda.
Tell us more about the king of birds.
Yeah, maybe sometime you can tell us past time.
Well, he's not vegetarian.
But maybe if he keeps coming regularly. What time? It's breakfast time. Okay. Shanti. Krishna House Ki.
Older devotees are humans too. Are humans too. And the point that you made at the end about where Krishna being the shelter of the king of birds, birds are known for being rude.
Garuda was into even with the farmhouse.
Such a nice